Chechen peacekeeping battalion named after Sheikh Mansour. Sheikh Mansour Battalion is one of several Chechen volunteer armed formations participating in the Russian-Ukrainian war on the side of the armed forces of Ukraine. The battalion is named in honor of Sheikh Mansour, a Chechen leader who fought against the expansion of the Russian Empire into the Caucasus during the late 18th century. The battalion has been active since 2014 and is made up of mostly Chechen volunteers, many of whom are veterans of the First Russian-Chechen War and Second Russian-Chechen War, mainly ethnic Chechens, but there are other nationalities too. Sheikh Mansour Battalion is a volunteer Chechen unit formed in 2014 by the initiative of a civil organization called Free Caucasus as a second Chechen volunteer battalion. It closely cooperated with Ukrainian Volunteer Corps and later became part of the Ukrainian Volunteer Army. Participation in the Russo-Ukrainian War. The battalion has since 2014 participated in the war in Donbass. During the ChRI standoff, the Sheikh Mansour Battalion, together with other Ukrainian forces, fought against Russian-backed separatists in the village of ChRI, east of Mariupol, in 2015. The battalion handed in its weapons in September 2019 as one of the last units composed purely of volunteer soldiers. The battalion was reported to be active again during the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. A video released by the battalion in March 2022 showing intense fighting against Russian forces outside of Kyiv. The Sheikh Mansour Battalion, as well as the Jokhar Dudayev Battalion, held the defense near Kyiv and participated in partisan operations, ambushes, sabotage work and mining during the Battle of Kyiv. They had previously fought in the Battle of Mariupol, but they left for Kyiv as they deemed it was more important to defend the capital city. After pushing Russian forces out of Kyiv during the Kyiv offensive, fighters of the battalion followed the Russian troops and fought in the Sumy region as part of the northeastern Ukraine campaign. Since then, the battalion has fought in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, most notably taking part during the Battle of Shevyerodonetsk since at least June 2022. The battalion has been fighting in the Battle of Bakhmut and Battle of Soledar since at least November 2022, which, as of December 2022, is experiencing the scenes of intense fighting. From September to November of 2022, the battalion has been in battles with Russian forces on the Zaporizhian front. Today, the Sheikh Mansour Battalion, as well as the Jokhar Dudayev Battalion and many other Chechens fighting in Ukraine against Russian occupants. But why the Chechens fighting in Ukraine?
What is the goal of Chechen fighters in Ukraine? Chechens are fighting in Ukraine because the Russians came to their motherland, Ichkeria. The Russians started the war against the Chechens, saying that all Chechens from the age of 10 to 65 must be killed. During 2 wars, the Russians killed over 300,000 civilian people. 45,000 among them were children. The population of the Chechens was only 1 million. The Russians called the war against the Chechens as the war against the terrorists. Now they are doing the same in Ukraine, the same what they did to Chechens. And everyone rose up in Ichkeria when the Russians occupied their land. Women, children went to the mountains and the men went to war. They had no fear of the Russians and they were fighting against the occupants, and they were right. The Chechens are fighting for their rights to be free from Russia. This is why the Chechens continue fighting, and today they are fighting together with Ukrainians to protect Ukraine and other countries from Putin's Russia.